Gen Z is fucked up, and here is why. Today, we're going to talk about Gen Z and its biggest problems. Before that we start with the video, I'd like to introduce you to Gen Z. I'm sure that most of the people watching this video know what Gen Z actually is. However, probably there are some of you who do not know what Gen Z is, and I'm here to tell you what it is. So Gen Z is the part of the population whose birth dates range from 18 to 35, from 1997 to 2012. I was thinking about their ages. No, it's about their birth dates. It's about the years where they were born. So all the people born from 1997 to 2012 are technically part of Gen Z. Now, actually, the definition of Gen Z and the years where they were born, when they were born, is not accurate, because to be fair and honest, there are some sources of information which say that Gen Z goes from 1997 to 2010 or 2009, and other sources of information say that Gen Z goes from 1997 to 2012. But, more or less it's the same. I mean, if you're on the verge of being part of Gen Alpha and you're part of Gen Z or vice versa, it doesn't change that much. Today is a video about Gen Z and the problems that we are facing, because I'm part of Gen Z also, and I understand the problems which we'll talk about. Guys, before we start the video, as always, I invite you to subscribe to the channel. It would be really appreciated. Hit the like button, share the video, comment with your opinion. I want to know your opinions, guys. Please watch the video, but also comment. And if you have criticism to make it, because it is extremely helpful for me to know how do you find the videos, what are the biggest problems of the videos, what should I improve, and all of that stuff. So please, guys, don't be afraid, comment. I don't care if you criticize me. It is how it works. Actually, I would be extremely happy to be criticized in a, of course, civic and respectful way. If you do that, I'm fine with it. So, overstimulation and lack of principles. Those are the two problems which I have identified. Those are the two biggest problems that Gen Z has, in my point of view. So, let's start with overstimulation, which is the first problem I have mentioned. So, it is important to start with overstimulation, which it is the first problem I brought up. So, I'll talk about that. So, what is overstimulation? Well, actually, let's start with let's start with the other question, which is, from what is overstimulation caused? In my point of view, overstimulation is caused by a constant bombardment of information. What does that basically mean? So social media has invaded people's lives, and especially the youth, and the teenagers and kids, unfortunately, are extremely impressionable. We are extremely impressionable. I'm not that impressionable, but no, probably I am. But if you're even younger than me, you're very impressionable. So, given how impressionable we are, it's easy to deceive and fool people who are younger. If you want to fool and trick somebody, you're going to pick a child, of course, not a man, not an adult, not a woman. Well, especially not a man. But, I think that overstimulation is caused by bombardment of information. I also say that scrolling on garbage causes addiction to brain entertainment. We could call it let's call it brain entertainment. So what do I mean by that? So scrolling on garbage, for everybody who doesn't know what it is or what I mean by scrolling on garbage, I basically mean being on social media, watching 4 or 5 hours of garbage of content, of short form content, of reels, of shorts, and constantly scrolling through them with your thumb. Scroll endlessly, watching videos which do not make sense, watch stupid videos which will not help you in any way. That's the biggest problem. Those videos will not help you in any possible way. So Doing that, first of all, causes and generates an addiction to being entertained. Our minds cannot be unentertained, and that's a very big problem. That's a very big problem. We're not used to boredom anymore. We're not used to it. And that's a very big problem which Gen Z is coming up against, and also Gen Alpha, but we're going to discuss Gen Z now because Gen Alpha are pretty young. So, scrolling on garbage hours endlessly without any significance, because scrolling on garbage is not an act of significance. It's extremely damaging. For this reason, as I said, because it creates and develops an addiction to entertain your mind, because you cannot have your mind unentertained. Let's think about this. If you give a 5 or 6-year-old child an iPad at 4 or 3 years old, when they go to school, they're going to be bored by a book, and it is absolutely normal because they're constantly used to the iPad, which is colorful, which is bright, which is cool, and which is far more entertaining than a stupid book. I call it stupid in this case, but it's not because it's a stupid book. And for that reason, it's not surprising that children are uninterested in school. And we're going to talk about school because it's a controversial topic. I'm going to talk about it and going to share my point of view, my experience, and my opinion with school. But this is not the video. Another problem which is generated by overstimulation, I think, is the drop of attention span, the drastic drop of attention span. Let's analyze this. In the last years, the level of attention span has decreased significantly. We cannot stay focused for more than a few seconds. This is an extremely dangerous condition, actually. And this is a very big problem. And overstimulation is causing that because we cannot stay unentertained. That's the biggest problem. We cannot stay unentertained. So there are two options, basically. You can either be always entertained by something of significance, not by something stupid like scrolling or garbage. You can be constantly entertained, like you train, you study, you, I don't know, try to make money, you work. Okay, you're constantly entertained, but it is a difficult thing to do. It is very difficult. The easier thing would be to get used to boredom sometimes. Maybe try to do something more real. Maybe try to entertain yourself differently instead of looking for a form of entertainment which is bad, or just don't entertain yourself at all. Instead of entertaining yourself with garbage on social media, an option could be, for all of us to do that, because everybody does that, to say the least, could be to do something more real, or to not entertain yourself at all. Your mind doesn't always have to be entertained by stupid things. And the problem is, when we watch videos on social media scrolling on garbage, we do that because we don't have anything of significance and anything more important than that to do. And that's a very big problem. It means that basically you're not doing the right things, the things you and we are supposed to do. So this is a very big problem, and attention span is also a very, very, very big problem. Attention span. The attention span is lowering, is decreasing as we speak, is going down. Let's even think about social media, because let's think about social media in and of itself. Social media, 5 or 6 years ago, YouTube, let's look at YouTube 7 or 8 years ago in 2017, 2016, those years. The average length of videos used to be the videos used to be far longer than they are now. So before we used to have 7, 8, 10, 15-minute videos. Now it's 10 seconds of a YouTube Shorts. And that's a very big problem. Very, very big problem. Last but not least, social media and overstimulation detaches you from reality. This is especially social media detaches from reality, because when you're on social media, it's not reality. It's not how life works. In social media, everything looks maybe like people are having always fun, but it's not the case. Actually, it's not the case. Most of the times, it's not the case. So, especially for young and impressionable minds, like the minds of teenagers and the youth and kids, it is important for them not to be deceived, because social media, if I had to use a word to describe social media, and I invite you to do that too, use one word to describe social media. One, only one. You don't have any more word than one. My word is deceiving. Social media social medias and social media are deceiving us hell. That's my point of view. The second problem, lack of principles. Let's go with the second problem now. So, lack of principles is caused, in my point of view, by bad parenting, comfort, and spoiling kids. Those are the reasons which cause lack of principles. The reason why children now lack principles, it's because if you give an iPad to a 3 or 4-year-old, he's gonna be spoiled, certainly. He's gonna be a very spoiled person. He's not gonna have the inclination to work hard to the degree, or to try to achieve things of significance to another degree. So it is really important, I think, that in the world there is this whole agenda of softness, which is, I think, destroying the youth. Softness, well, this is a word which is being hijacked. But by the way, softness can be good, but it can be destructive. All the movements which we have, let's think about this, of people who don't have principles. The body positivity. I'm going to be careful with the words I say, because it's an extremely controversial topic, and I don't want to offend nor insult anybody. However, the body positivity is a concept which is being hijacked completely. This word is being overused. So, what's body positivity? Basically, being proud of your body, despite of how unfortunate you have been. And I am all for body positivity, if it is the body positivity which is positive. Which is the body positivity which is positive? The body positivity where there are people who are unfortunate, who don't have a limb, who don't have limbs, who have problems. So if you say, okay, let's think about this. Let's think of this scenario. I'm a person who has a problem. I don't have a leg, but I'm still proud of myself. I still work as hard as I humanly can. Props to you. Big admiration to that person. That person is an hero. Absolutely. Because despite how unlucky he was with genetics, he still grinded towards trying to be a very good person, and he wasn't a victim, and he didn't blame himself. And I'm all for body positivity when it comes to saying you should be proud of your body despite the unfortunate genetics which were given to you. However, the problem with body positivity is not that. The problem is that this word is being hijacked by the media and by the agenda which is trying to be pushed upon the populace, I would say, to a degree. That's another rabbit hole in and of itself, which I don't want to go down right now. I've talked about that on a WhatsApp status which I put, but it was like 2 or 3 days ago. The body positivity where there are fat people who are fat because they chose to be fat. And I was a fat person, so I can speak. I was a fat person. When I was 8 or 9 years old, I was fat. And I wasn't fat because of my bones. I wasn't fat because of large bones. I wasn't fat because of metabolism. I was fat because I was lazy and because I was an idiot. That's the problem. I wasn't fat. And thank God I reacted in the correct way. So I went to a doctor, she was, I think. And she told me, you're obese. I didn't cry. I'm proud of myself in that situation. I didn't cry. I lost the weight. So I'm against the body positivity where they say, where there are those 150 kilogram, 300, 400 pound people who say, oh, I'm fat, you're being fat phobic. First of all, it's an inaccurate description of the approach you have a person has towards people, because, for example, maybe I'm going to be called fat phobic. I'm not scared. I don't have a phobia of fat people. I don't live in fear. I try not to live in fear. So it's inaccurate. It should be fat intolerant, which is another thing. However, the problem I have with body positivity and with fat positivity and with glorifying obesity is that you encourage people not to try to take care of yourself. I think that the right thing to say would be, okay, you are fat, fine, work as hard as you can, go out running, work, move, eat better, become a better person, and by suffering, you will become a better person and you will be happy, you will be proud in the end. Instead, these people are not happy. They are not happy, you can clearly see that. So I'm against that type of body positivity, and I just want to make this clear. So, the problem of laziness, we talked about that, which is related to all of this. So the problem of comfort, the problem of being spoiled. Also, lack of principles causes an inclination towards doing bad things. Let's think about this. If I don't have principles, I have an inclination towards doing something stupid, towards doing things which could be harmful for me, maybe smoking or vaping. How many times I've heard about people, oh, I tried to vape or smoke because I think I'm a cool person by doing that. And I think you're stupid, to say the least. I'm talking about teenagers. And unfortunately, in my school, where like 1,000 students, I would argue that at least half of the students smoke or vape. Oh, smoking, vaping is cool. I do that because I want to feel like I'm a big person. I think you're an absolute idiot, to say the very least. And it's very sad. And the last day I heard about a conversation of two young girls who actually were as old as I was, probably. We're talking about vaping and smoking, all that stuff. I think that's extremely harmful. And if you don't have principles, I think that there are more probabilities that you may go down that path. That's an idea I personally have. So it causes to do bad things. Certain lack of principles. If you don't have principles, for example, if you have principles, you think, okay, they offer me to smoke. Would my parents be proud of me if I started smoking, or would they be proud of me if I tried to pursue achieving something of significance? That's a genuine question that I think we should ask ourselves. Would my parents be proud? Would God be proud? Would my ancestors be proud? We could even say. Then we can also have even worse things than that. Lack of principles. And that's related to being proud. Let's think about people, who sell their bodies for money. That's, I think, something that you do when you don't have principles. Because a person who has principles goes there and sits there, no, I will not sell my body for money. My body is mine, and I don't want it to be seen by the whole world. So, this is the end of the video. Honestly, it wasn't easy to do this video. This is like the 4th or 5th time I do this video. I hope this time it was good. Guys, I hope you appreciate the video and hit the like button, subscribe to the channel, share the video, comment, and see you in the next video. Thank you very much, guys. What do you think about what I said? Please comment down below with your opinion. Bye.